So wait. The issue now is not the subpoena that Donald Trump ignored or the documents found at Trump, Biden, and Pence's homes that could have jeopardized national security. But it's now about how long it took Biden's team to disclose publicly that they had turned the documents over to the FBI and National Archives? Come on. Joining us now is former Republican Congressman from Illinois, Rodney Davis. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so am I wrong here, you think, on the hypocrisy side of this?
You wouldn't be the first one to call out hypocrisy in Congress. I'm telling you, there's nobody more fair than Jamie Comer. And look, there's a difference when this was on President Trump and how he was treated in the get-go. Remember, the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. There was no raid at Joe Biden. There was no raid at Mike Pence. But however, Dan, listen, when you think about this, obviously there is a problem with the executive branch in securing top secret documents. I have been a member of Congress for 10 years. Not one time was I ever allowed to take a highly sensitive document out of a SCIF, even when I was told that through a personal email that I inadvertently got caught clicking a phishing document from a foreign nation, and I got called into the SCIF, not told why. They told me that I had to change my passwords, do an extra set of things, and in the end, I couldn't take any of those documents out. So the legislative branch clearly does a better job of protecting sensitive documents, and they need to do a better job.
That may be true, but I got to follow up on something you said there before. You said, oh, you know, they'd been treated so differently. Come on, you know why the Trump situation was different. You know that they'd been negotiating for months. You know he had a subpoena that he ignored. And you know the fact that we just learned today that the Department of Justice would have issued a search warrant for Biden if he hadn't done it voluntarily. You know that when the FBI was there, they wouldn't let them search certain areas. I mean, come on. You're not actually suggesting that the Trump situation is comparable to either Biden or Pence, are you?
When you talk to half of America right now, they truly believe.
They may believe that.
Without documents being found in Biden's house.
Wait, they may believe it, but that doesn't mean that they believe it because people are saying it. I'm sorry.
No, that's not necessarily the case. When you look at what happened with a raid at President Trump's house, and look, I don't have a lot of love lost for Donald Trump. He's the reason I'm not in Congress anymore. But in the end, there are not a lot of people, not a lot of Republicans that don't think that Merrick Garland would have actually indicted Donald Trump unless documents like this were found at Joe Biden's house. Clearly, the executive branch has got to do a better job in packing up sensitive documents. Hey, how about on the front end, you don't let them stay in the Oval Office. You don't let them take them back to their residence. I mean, that's a pretty simple task.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And look, there's a lot of questions to be asked today about how classified documents are handled, how documents are classified at all. These are all sort of legitimate questions that we can look back on now that we've seen all the various people who were involved. But, you know, I do a lot of calling out of hypocrisy on this show on both sides. You're going to hear me calling out the left on two stories we're doing later in the show today. But on this one, it just feels like, you know, these explanations where they're twisting themselves into knots to try to make it sound like, oh, you know, Mike Pence is a good man. This is all inadvertent. But Joe Biden, my goodness, this is horrible. I mean, come on.
Well, when you think about hypocrisy, when you look at the ability of a president of the United States to actually declassify any document in America, a president has that authority. A vice president does not. Well, and we can nitpick whether or not Donald Trump actually did declassify those documents before they were found in Mar-a-Lago, but he has the ability to do it. And that has to be taken into consideration when you talk about hypocrisy.
Yeah, but as you know, the vice presidents actually have a lot of autonomy to declassify as well, depending on what the document is, depending on how it's classified. Anyway, all right. Rodney Davis, I think you'll enjoy some of the stuff I'm doing later in the show, where I beat up on your on the left with regard to the Georgia election and another topic as well. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.